What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today breaking down the New York Yankees signing Marcus Stroman. Episode 85, of course. Up to 85 episodes now. This time we're breaking down the New York Yankees. Don't forget to look at our previous video. That was us doing a Giants mock draft. This time talking about the New York Yankees. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with what Brian Cashman has done. They said they were going to be active, and they've done some work. Of course, they traded for Juan Soto. That was really the big move. And now they're addressing the pitching. They missed out on Yamamoto because he went to the Dodgers for a lot of money. Yankees didn't get him. They moved to Marcus Stroman, but I still need to see more because I think the biggest question I have with this rotation is Carlos Rodon and Nestor Cortes. Because those two guys, they were on the injured list a lot. They didn't get many starts. And when Carlos Rodon was pitching, he wasn't very good. And Nestor Cortes, the problem with Nestor is that he cannot get past the lineup the third time around. You know, I've seen the numbers. I think batter's OPS jumps up to over 1, right? That's like he gets shelled when he goes the third time. And that's another thing. If the Yankees want to get a guy like Blake Snell, and he's going to want a lot of money. The Yankees have already given Blake Snell an offer. It was a 5-year, $150 million deal. He declined it. He said no to it. Blake Snell said no to it. He wants more money. I believe that's what it is. He might want another year or two instead of 5. You might want to go seven years at like 195, maybe $200 million. And I don't know if the Yankees want to go that route. I don't think the Yankees want to pay a pitcher that is known for walking a lot of batters and not going deep enough in games. I think that's the big problem. And that's another thing with Nestor Cortes, but obviously he's a lot cheaper than Blake Snell. And Blake Snell coming off a Cy Young, his reps and the people who support him and his agent, they're going to want a good amount of money because that's their, kind of resume, right? Coming off, 2 Cy Youngs. He's won one in the AL and one in the NL now, and now he wants a big bag. The Padres aren't going to give it to him. They want a team that's going to give out and give a lot of money to Blake Snell. And listen, I'd be welcome to having Blake Snell on this team because it makes the rotation even better. Three lefties in the rotation is definitely interesting. Blake Snell, Rodon, and Nestor. And, I mean, if you have a rotation of Carlos Rodon, Garrett Cole, Blake Snell, Schmidt, and Nestor, that's a pretty good rotation. Obviously not in that order. It would be Cole, Snell, Rodon, Nestor, and then Marcus Stroman. We haven't even mentioned Marcus Stroman yet. So it'll be interesting. And with Blake Snell and Marcus Stroman, I don't mind the Blake Snell, offer. I thought it was a pretty good offer, right? I thought with, Blake Snell, I thought it was a good offer. I really did. I thought that would get it done. I thought maybe they go into maybe the 180 range. But no, I don't think he's going to get $200 million from the New York Yankees. I really don't. I think he's going to get maybe 185 from the Yankees as a counter offer. And that's if they still are interested in him. Blake Snell has expressed interest that he wants to play for the New York Yankees. I'd welcome him here. I think a lot of fans would. A lot of fans don't even love the Marcus Stroman signing, and I see where they're coming from. The comments he's made about the New York Yankees, they've been a tough punch to Yankee fans, and Yankee fans are passionate, and they want the right guys, and they want the best guys. They don't want a guy who's been trashing the organization and, just throwing a lot of BS at the team, right? They don't want a guy like that. But Marcus Stroman, he's a big talker. I'm not going to lie. This guy runs his mouth on social media. He does a lot of that stuff, but he's also, a good pitcher in my opinion. I think he's a solid rotation piece. And if he's the Yankees number 3, I I need more. I need more. And I'm not trying to sound like a spoiled, delusional Yankee fan, but with how this team and the injuries and health issues, I don't know how I feel if Rodon and Nestor go down again this year, as Stroman being the number 2 guy. I need to see a trade. I don't think they're going to get Blake Snell, but if the Guardians are interested in dealing Shane Bieber after having him avoid arbitration, I think the Yankees can definitely be interested in that and make a deal done, whether it's sending, a guy like Everson Pereira and Peraza and maybe like a Clark Schmidt. Wouldn't mind that at all. If they want that deal and that's the deal that they're proposing, I think the Yankees should be all over that. Shane Bieber, I still think is a solid pitcher, and that's a deadly staff. I mean, if Rodon can bounce back and Nestor could be somewhat to that self he was a few seasons ago, where he was dazzling up the mound, throwing strikes, his little swirl and twirl and all his swing, when he swings on the mound and all of that, I would love that. That's the Nestor Cortez I love. He doesn't throw the ball, he's not going to blow you by a fastball, but his stuff is nasty, and that's why he's called Nasty Nestor, right? That's where I'm trying to get to. But the thing with Rodon, he was garbage. I think we all know that, and he knows that to himself. So he's, holding himself accountable, which I like. But we're going to need a lot more out of Carlos Rodon. He needs to be healthy, and I need to see a lot of starts out of him because this Yankees team on paper is probably the favorite to win the AL, aside from the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros and Baltimore Orioles. They're at least a top team to win the AL, right? They're not like a Tampa Bay Ray or the Blue Jays or, teams like that are going to sneak into the playoffs. This is a Yankee team that's very talented when healthy, right? These guys have not been able to stay healthy. The Judge injury hurt us last year. The Rizzo injury, we need to bounce back from him. DJ LeMahieu not being great. You got great production out of Gleyber Torres, but it was just not a consistent offense for the lineup. Stanton stunk, just a lot of bad. And if you want to be a top team and an elite team that's going to compete well against the Houston Astros, the Texas Rangers, the Baltimore Orioles, I think the Orioles are probably the biggest threat to the New York Yankees in terms of winning the AL East. I mean, this is still a very talented Orioles team that are probably still a few pieces away from taking down the Yankees and the Rangers if they could add some pitching, right? I think that's why they couldn't compete against the Texas Rangers when they played against each other. The Texas Rangers offense was way too good, and the Orioles pitching stunk. They don't have an ace. They have some pieces, but they have a great offense, I'll tell you that, with Adley Rutschman, when Jackson Holliday gets called up, Gunnar Henderson, all of those guys. So I think they definitely have a very bright future, one of the brightest in baseball, I'd say. But if they want to compete and they want to show up, they got to address pitching in this offseason. Now, I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to really put up a lot of money for Blake Snell? I don't know what the Orioles are going to do. But I think they're definitely going to make a move. Dylan Cease is off the board. I don't think the White Sox are going to deal him because they're going to want a big package for him. I'm not sure what the Baltimore Orioles are going to do pitching-wise. Maybe they were interested in Stroman. I'm not sure. I don't really know the teams that were interested in Stroman. All I knew is that the Yankees were the favorites, and they got that deal done. 2 years, $34 million. A very solid deal, I think, for a guy that, has pretty decent numbers, I'd say. He came off a 3.95 ERA last year and at a 10-9 record. But I still think Stroman has a lot, some to prove, right? I still think he's a solid 3, maybe a 4 for this team if they trade for a guy. But I definitely need to see a trade from this team to feel super confident with this pitching rotation. The bullpen, not worried at all, right? I know Wandy Peralta might not come back because they traded for that guy. I forgot his name. Victor Gonzalez, was it? From the Dodgers. But whoever, if they do decide to re-sign Wandy, great. But I heard something from Twitter that the Yankees are interested in Josh Hader. I know the Rangers are interested in Josh Hader. It's probably going to come down to those two, unless the Dodgers decide to sweep in and destroy everyone's dream and take Josh Hader as well with that already loaded super team they have in LA. But yeah, I am confident in this Yankees team to be good this year. I really am. The expectation is a bounce back from Giancarlo Stanton, which I don't really know what the numbers are in terms of what a bounce back is. I mean, he batted under 200, I believe. The numbers weren't there. The home runs are cool, but need consistent at bats and good at bats. We cannot have Stanton going, that home run streak he goes on, and then the next 3 games he's 1 for 18, right? Cannot have that. We need a big season out of Big J, right? His value is going down and down each season because he hasn't been playing well, and he can deal New York very well, which is very hard to do. And getting back to Marcus Stroman, if he plays well enough, I think Yankee fans can apologize or accept his apology, in other words. But the comment he made about the New York Yankees was this. He criticized the Yankees a few seasons ago and said the Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009, Stroman said. And he also added, they routinely spend more than any other team and acquire the biggest names at every trade deadline. The way they spend in players, they should get should result in much more success than they've had. Of course, bringing up 2009, the last time the Yankees have won a World Series, that was against the Philadelphia Phillies. And yeah, I mean, Stroman is right. These Yankees do spend a lot of money, and they haven't been successful. And now that obviously takes into account a lot of injuries and a lot of problems with this team, which has been why they haven't been able to get over the hump, the ALCS hump, and getting past the Houston Astros, because the Houston Astros have owned the AL. They have owned the AL for numerous years. Of course, Texas Rangers getting the job done, going to the World Series, defeating the Diamondbacks. Amazing. So the Astros were beatable, right? This is not an Astros team that is just unbeatable. And also, you play them opening day at Houston. That's going to be an amazing series. And I expect the Yankees to put out their best roster. Garrett Cole, of course, is going to get the ball, bearing no setbacks, assuming. And also, I mean, I think pitchers and catchers report in like a month or two, something like that. So that's cool. Of course, a few more months until the season starts. But baseball, the NFL is ending soon, and that means baseball is around the corner. And I can't wait to break down Yankee games and maybe go live for some games, because Yankee games are fun, man. When that team is playing well and the team is healthy, that's a scary team. But when they're not healthy, that's what we expect. We expect mediocre baseball and not being able to hit the baseball. This team last year could not hit the cover off the baseball at all. These guys stunk. They wouldn't get hits until the 7th inning. I'd hear notifications on my phone. Yankees are being no hit. They need to be better. These guys stink. All of this nonsense. No reason that this team, with the amount of money they spend, should be not going to the World Series or just being good. I know, dude, my expectations are high, right? I understand that. Many teams in this league would put so much into their team for them to even make the playoffs, right? The amount they probably sacrifice for Pirates, Tigers, Rockies, all those bad teams. They probably sacrifice something in order for their team to just make the playoffs. So the Yankees have had, winning seasons, but what do you clarify or judge as a winning season? Is it a World Series? Is it an ALCS appearance, right? What really is it? Because the Yankees have not done much in the last 10 years in terms of World Series, right? This team should be a World Series team or bust. I think this is kind of the year where I look at this team and I'm confident in this offense. Last year, you didn't really get that because once Aaron Judge went down, the whole team went down. It was so bad. Once Aaron Judge went down, I was just like, okay, we might be fucked, and we were most certainly fucked because this team stunk. I mean, 82-80, worst season they've had in 30 years now. Just god awful. I mean, just unacceptable. But I'm excited with this team. I think Marcus Stroman is definitely a solid signing if he decides to pitch well. If he doesn't, then he's going to hear it from Yankee fans, from Twitter, from Instagram, because Marcus Stroman broke the news before Jeff Passan and Ken Rosenthal, all those reliable sources, right? So he is very active on social media, and I mean, if this guy stinks the bed against, I don't know, the Red Sox or even a bad team, he's going to get a lot of blame from those Yankee fans quickly, and it's his. He controls himself and how he wants to take into Yankee fans. If he wants to go to war with Yankee fans, he's probably not going to win. I'll tell you that right now. If Marcus Stroman goes off on Yankee fans, it's not going to be good for the brand or the clubhouse, and he's probably going to be here short term. I know it's a 2-year deal, but you could see Marcus Stroman release if things go south. But yeah, I mean, he's got a career ERA of 3.65. That's not terrible. That gets the job done. Postseason, I think he's made 2 starts in his career, so nothing crazy. And I think one of the main reasons why the Yankees kind of went after him was from 2021 to 2023. He had a 3.51 ERA and a 54% ground ball rate. So I mean, if this guy can get ground balls for you and get outs, he's going to be very lovable for the Yankees. But we all know Yankee Stadium. That is a hitter's ballpark. And that's why Sonny Gray, I don't think, really had much success. He was a fly ball pitcher, and man, he was tossing up a home run derby. If Marcus Stroman allows a lot of fly balls, and I don't know how good it's going to be for him. But I think he's a competitor. I think this guy wants to win, and I think that's why he left the Cubs. I think he viewed the Cubs as a team that's not going to be as close. I don't think he's going to be nearly as good. I don't think he has nearly as good of a chance to make the World Series if he was on a Cubs than the Yankees. I think that's just common knowledge. So I think that's why he left. And he expressed interest to the Yankees, and the Yankees got him. I was actually, I was a little shocked that we got him after what he said about us. But hey, he's here, and we have to support him. Am I mad about the deal? No, because didn't really give him much. I mean, if they really overpaid him, then I would have definitely got on Brian Cashman. But Cashman has made some moves, right? Got Alex Verdugo, got Juan Soto, and they got Marcus Stroman, and of course some other pieces, but not really big names. I love the Verdugo trade. I love the Juan Soto trade. Am I gonna miss Michael King? Yeah. Am I gonna, question what Drew Thorpe would have been with us? Maybe, but we still got some pieces now. The Luke Weaver signing, more pitching depth. Can't hurt to get more pitching depth, right? But yeah, I mean, the rotation doesn't look that bad. Cole, of course, reigning Cy Young winner. Rodon was garbage last year. Stroman, of course, the new guy. Nestor Cortez hoping for a bounce back in Clark Schmidt. Now, I don't know if Clark Schmidt's going to be the number 5 if they make a trade. I don't think so at all. I think he'll be a long relief pitcher. I would love if they got Shane Bieber. Do I think they're going to get Shane Bieber? Probably not. Or they can get Corbin Burns. I don't think the Brewers are very interested in dealing Corbin Burns, but if the Yankees make an offer, I think they're going to look at it, and maybe they deal him, maybe they don't. Dylan Cease is already off the books. He's not going to be dealt. And I don't know. And also, they were asking for a lot for a pitcher who was not good last year. So I don't really know what the Yankees are going to do. And, if the Guardians want to give them us Shane Bieber, please. We would be more than welcome to taking Shane Bieber off your hands. Because honestly, I'm pretty sure when he played against us, despite the playoffs, I don't think he was that bad against us. I mean, I might be wrong. I got to check the stats and all that. But listen, Shane Bieber's not a bad pitcher. I think he's good. He's on he's got 1 year left on his deal. Maybe they go for him at the trade deadline. But I expect this Yankee team to make some more moves. Whether it's signing Josh Hader, who's a guy who wants, I'm pretty sure, like an Edwin Diaz deal, which I think is over $100 million. I don't know if the Yankees are going to do that. But this bullpen was really, really good last year. Yankees are Matt Blake, is good at helping relievers, pitch better. He did it with Michael King. He's done it with Wandy Peralta. He's done it with a bunch of guys. So I expect the same from him. I expect a good year out of Aaron Boone. I expect a good year from this team. But that's going to do it for this Marcus Stroman pod. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Yankees.